And hello. All right, there's the little eyeball. So welcome. Today is the 13th. I did manage to remember to switch my calendar in the background. So today is Wednesday. Today I'm going to be working on bouncing around a couple of chapters, trying to connect a few more of those chapters that I had left sort of disjointed. I did go ahead and start a later chapter yesterday. It might have been the day before. But I also have a couple of pages of notes that I know I need to sort of transcribe about some sort of questions I had for plot and for the way that things were feeling to me. Like the main female lead, you meet her when she's first a damsel in distress, and she expresses the wish that she wants to be stronger and not be manipulated by anybody. She's supposed to be the daughter of an aristocratic family. And so sometimes she seems very savvy about her own political position and the power that she has. And then sometimes she seems very naive about the way that politics works. And somehow those don't feel like they're meshing for me. And so I need to figure out what it is exactly that I want her role to be. And sort of set out to write her a bit better. And there's also, I have some questions that I think I finally maybe clarified in my brain about the conflict between the light and dark gods, and why it is the way it currently is. So I think I finally found some answers to those conflicts, and so I need to make sure that I transcribe those so I don't lose the pieces of paper and the information that is on them, because my brain sometimes feels like a sieve and just everything trickles out. When I, especially when I finally figure these things out at like 3 a.m. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get a 15-minute timer set up. Timer. Share the timer screen, and we want to do a 15-minute to start with, just to get our toes in the water. So, yeah. All right, make this big so we can see it. And ready, set, go. Alrighty. So good morning or good afternoon to those of you who joined. Hello, Abigail from Bluebird Studios. How did we do for that first sprint? I know that some of us were still getting ready and whatnot, but I think I did pretty good, but I was mostly just transcribing the notes. So I got 508 because I had notes. So I feel like it's kind of a cheat, but I don't know. So last night I was trying to think about why it is that I'm having issues with coming back to this story. Like on the days when I don't stream, I don't really feel motivated to work in this particular story. And I was like, why? Why is that? When I'm in the story, I feel good and I feel motivated. But I was trying to figure out why it is that I don't really feel like coming back to it all the time. And so I think I've finally figured out what exactly some of not all of, but some of the questions that I had in my brain that I hadn't quite answered. And so I feel like maybe now I can begin to fix the things that I did wrong. Like the female character that I have, I had intended to sort of have her as a romantic interest for the male main lead. But then I was like, well, it's obvious that she's going to be a possible romantic lead because she's like the only female teenager that I've written in thus far. Why is that? So like, why do I only have one female character? That needs to change. Hello. And then I also had some questions, but her character wasn't really solidifying for me. And I think I figured out it was because when I first met her, when she first came into the story world, she is a damsel in distress, but she is cussing about it, and she's determined to change and determined not to be manipulated by anybody, and she wants to not be the princess, the duke's daughter anymore. She wants to be like her own knight, and so she has the strength to become essentially like a saintly paladin, and so she's sort of moving in that direction. But at the same time, she gets involved in these arguments with the noble brats like Randall. And so at times she uses her social status and position very effectively. And then at other times she seems like she's very naive about the way that politics works. And I'm like, this is not meshing. So I need to figure out, it seems like she's two characters in one, and I need to figure out like, what other character am I sort of like blending with her, or like I need to pick one. just like that's what needs to happen. And so there's some things that I need to change there. And I asked myself, I was like, does the healer character, and then I was like, wait, no, I don't want the healer to be a girl. The healer needs to be a boy because there needs to be the male friendship element, and he needs to have this friend that is going to stick by him. He's going to be his bro. And so there's some things there that I needed to figure out, and like why I wasn't happy with the main female character. So I think I've figured out some of what's making me unsure about her. And then, so I got 508 in that first bit. So yeah, but I am going to be I'm finishing transcribing these notes in the sort of situational aspects that I figured out last night. And then I'm going to be jumping into connecting, I think 14 and 15. No, 15 and 16. So yeah. All right, so I'm going to set the timer for 25. Do you guys want to do 25 or 30? Let me know in the chat. I'm okay to do a longer one today if y'all are interested in trying to do a longer one. but I'm also okay with the usual 25. So. Alrighty, I think I will just go ahead and I think I'm going to set it for 25 because I do have a glass of water next to me. So I don't think I need to get up and get my hydration water. Hydration water? That makes a whole lot of sense, Jules. Okay, timer, share it. Let's do a 25, the usual, and then we'll kick it up to a 30 afterwards. Alrighty. Ready, set, go. Alrighty. How did you do? I did pretty well. I'm not quite sure what my word count is. But I was definitely having to deal with a lovely troll that came in through Facebook. And I have deleted his oh so wonderful requests for magazines that are inappropriate. But yeah, so I have blocked said troll and deleted his comments. So yay. All right, so how did we do? Take the banner off. I should also probably figure out how I did. I think I probably got around 500 or 600-ish. Let's see. Be nice when the 692 for me this time. So that's pretty good. And as I was typing, I was able to ask myself some more questions. So some of the questions that I had written down on my notes led to more questions and more clarifications that I either have figured out or that I need to find answers for in the future. But I'm been able to figure out a few things and maybe some possible answers about how I want to do things. I also maybe have found out who the antagonist is going to be. So there's going to be multiple antagonists, of course, but who the there's going to be what seems to be the obvious antagonist, but then there's a manipulator behind them. And just, of course, like all dramatic adventure stories, there's going to be somebody even further behind manipulating that sort of mid-level villain. So I have figured out who I already knew who the front villain was going to be. And I had an idea of the very, very back one, but now I'm pretty sure that I have who the middle level villain is going to be. So that's great. Although, like, front, middle, and back villains sound kind of weird. I don't know how to express it without. Oh, great! We have another troll. Yeah, Facebook may not be an option for, at least maybe not with the settings that I have. I don't know if I have it, because I thought I had it just to stream to friends, but apparently not. We'll see. I may have to adjust that in the next sprint. But anyway, yeah. So, but I feel pretty good. Haven't even made it halfway through. Yeah, I have made it. I've made it a little over halfway through my notes. And I've already broken 1,100 words. Yeah, I'm at 1,199. So pretty good so far. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I had made some notes to myself that I have to go back and look at. I had a description of like the Academy atrium and some engravings that were carved that sort of explained how the gods and magical powers were balanced in the world. And so I made a little note because I keep sort of in my brain, and when I'm typing, I keep interchanging light and flame magic. I was like, why do I keep doing that? Is light some sort of like pure form of the flame magic? Is that why I'm doing it? And so I have to go back and I have to look at the description that I already wrote and try and figure out what my brain is telling me. So yeah, So I made a note to myself to go back and look at that particular aspect of, good God, I think that is that's chapter 6 that is in. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to go back and do some like little quick read throughs, but that'll be for later. Yeah, so Vanya, you're still editing and you've got a few pages at a time. That's fine. Aw, thanks. I hope they're cool. I hope they're good. My brain, like at whatever time I was taking these notes last night, I was trying to figure out why my main character was so attached to the mentor character. And I figured out that it's one, because the mentor is one of the few people who sees potential in him and is willing to sort of willing to take the time to teach him and to protect him. And so, but then I started thinking, well, what if, the mentor character wasn't great? What if he wasn't really intent on just giving the main character the tools that he needed to protect himself in the future? What if the story had gone a very different way and a young dark mage found a mentor that was intent on manipulating the young mage's powers for personal gain or to create chaos or that kind of thing. And so the main character is in the future going to be meeting another dark mage who is very similar beginnings as him, but has a very different outcome. And so I made some notes for that situation. So I'm kind of excited about that. But yeah, so I think I had said that our next sprint would be a little bit longer, would be a 30-minute. So make sure that if you need it, you get your water, coffee, take a stretch break, all that. But I am going to set the timer for 30 minutes this time. Reset. All right, so am I sharing my screen? Yes, I am. Great. All right, whenever you are ready, 1, 2, 3, go. Alrighty, how did we do that time? I did manage to finish up transcribing my notes, and I am now trying to connect chapters 15 and 16. So I am making more progress in the actual story itself and not just on notes and sort of figuring out the world. So, oh, wow. Okay, I got exactly 900 words that time. Not bad. Not bad at all. How did you do? I've gone back and I've started writing a little bit more about the conversation in which the blacksmith or the armorer is sort of regaling the main character and his friends with stories about the olden days when he and the main character's mentor were mercenaries, and the time that they defeated an enemy group and became famous for it. So, Abigail, you're not really feeling it today. Not working on writing, but doing research on personalities. Yeah, so I really, like, yesterday I didn't feel like writing at all, and I finally sat down at the very, very tail end of writing and wrote all of these little notes. That was all the writing in this story that I did yesterday. And yeah, so are you interested in doing that the personality AuthorTube tag, the personality type tag? That I saw a couple of videos on that, and so I went and I looked at it again, and it's odd. Normally it's based on the Myers-Briggs, at least if I think we're talking about the same ones. It's based on the Myers-Briggs personality test, and I normally get an INTP or an INTJ, just the last letter. Sometimes occasionally switches for me. I normally get INTJ. But when I took the test this time, I got INFP, which is more a bit more, I don't know, a bit more empathic than normal, because that F and the T, the T, usually I'm the overthinker. I think about everything before I do it. And the INFP really just kind of does the, yeah. 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 So that was the first time. I have a friend who is your same personality type, and I talked with her about it because she's like, that's my type. And she's like, welcome to the empathic world. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about my T being taken away from me, because I've always gotten the T before. So it was kind of a weird situation with that. But yeah, so I thought about doing it, but then I was like, I would have to explain that I normally am these. And then I would have to figure out the difference between that. And so I don't know. So I did write down a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I started doing title ideas and pages and things in my journal. But I'm not sure about them because I watched somebody was talking about their book title. My brain is kind of going all over the place. Somebody was talking about their book title and how it was not the title they initially had, their working title, when they got to their editor. and apparently they're traditionally published. When they got to the publishing point, they wanted to change the title because like it didn't have anything about magic in the title, and it was a fantasy story, and so you wouldn't necessarily know that the story was a fantasy world just by the title. And I was like, oh, well, that's a good point. My title has nothing about magic, and that could be a problem. So now I'm rethinking my title. So I don't know what my title's going to be. I'm going to still keep calling it what I have been for the working title, Gravely Mistaken, but I have a feeling that's going to change eventually. I don't know. You've taken the Myers-Briggs. Yeah, you always get INFP. Yeah, so mine, the only thing that normally changes for me is the very last letter, which is the judging and perceiving. And I think I get that because I overthink the test a lot. And so I normally, most of the time, I get the J rather than the P. So I guess I'm normally the INTJ, which is like the realist. That's my usual one, I guess. And then, so I thought it was cool to see the different authors that were supposedly these types. So I got like Jane Austen, C.S. Lewis, Emily Bronte, Lewis Carroll, Stephen Hawking. And then you, with your INFP, got like Shakespeare. And Tolkien and Kafka and Poe and John Milton and like George R.R. Martin and like all some really cool ones. Yeah, okay, I'm getting distracted. It is 2:34. So you're making decisions based on feeling versus logic. Yeah. Because sometimes, most of the time I go with my head, but then sometimes I go with my gut, and it's just, it is what it is. Sometimes I don't know what to do, and so I make a decision and then overthink it forever after that. That's how my brain works. All right, so let's do a 20-minute sprint, and then we will wind up the stream. Which I did. I went ahead and paid for StreamYard's. Oh, there goes the garbage can. What am I doing? Reset. 20. So yeah. So I have the rest of this month that I can stream all I want to. Actually until like June, middle of June. And then I'll make a decision as to whether or not, like, what exactly I want my budget to be for streaming. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty, so that was the last sprint for the stream. And how did we do? Let's see. I think I just did a couple more sentences after the last bit that I copied over. Words. So I got 520 in that sprint. So I think this has been a really good day, despite not feeling great about it at the very beginning. So I was able to get 520 for the last sprint and 2,619 for the stream, which is nice. Very nice. So let me record that in my tracker. $2,619. Which that means if on Friday I break 2,600 again, then I will have the average of at least 2,600 for this week, which is pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. So I've already broken 5,000 for the week just during these sprints, which is great. You've just got one more page to go. You can do it. You can do it. Get it done. Oh, goodness gracious. That is if you hear beeping, our neighbor is now having concrete poured. And so the concrete truck arrived. So yeah, I'm feeling, I think I'm, after sort of going through all of those notes and answering some of those questions that I posed to myself, I think I'm feeling a bit better about what I know that I need to either go back and add or revise, some questions I need to answer, some new characters I need to create, that kind of thing. So I'm feeling better about it. Feeling like I have a bit more clarity to the world that I have been building. I have figured out what battle made the mentor famous. I have figured out some of the ways that the main character and his friends are going to play around with magic and learn more than what is in the textbooks. So that's going to be fun. But I still have yet to figure out some of the things regarding the female lead. I've already started in chapter 18 or 19. There's a conversation, or an argument really, that she has with the main character, and it takes place in the middle of the woods. And it's when she finds them, after she finds the main character and the healer, after they are on the run. Well, how does she find them? I don't know. Why is she out in the middle of the woods? I don't know. I'm so kind of I got to figure out a few things there. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else is doing, I think there's somebody who's doing a stream at 4 and then somebody who's doing a stream at 7 today with writing sprints, but I think I'm going to try and join a couple of those and get some more work done today. But yeah, it's been kind of like a weird day where there's way more questions than there are answers, but I think sometimes that's okay. And sometimes I think I'm going to have to be okay with that because it just happens. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me today, and I will be back on Friday. So yeah, I will see y'all later then. Thanks. Bye.